Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This past weekend, the NDP and their supporters came together and passed some policy resolutions. One dealt with grain, and the resolution two, and I quote, formally examine the impact to Canada's international reputation that has resulted from the changes to Canada's grain marketing, storage and handling system, end quote. Minister, in all your travels, I have never heard you publicly say that Canada's reputation, and by extension Alberta's grain farm growers, have somehow been diminished by any recent changes in that federal policy. Have you? Good question.
Yeah. Point of order. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and member for the question. So over the years, we've seen increased production from our hard-working Alberta farmers, which is fantastic, but which means more product on the rail lines. So we're working with the federal government in their deliberations on changing the Canadian Transportation Act, which helped a lot. And we know from both CN and CP, the main characters, that they're increasing production. But that concern's still there, Mr. Speaker, that we're able to have the capacity on our whole transportation system to making sure that we can get our products to market, continue working with federal government and the railway systems to ensure that happens, Mr. Speaker.
First supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, given that resolution goes on to recommend to, and I quote, put into place any additional government oversight needed to ensure that Canada's grain marketing, storage and handling system works efficiently to the mutual benefit of all. Minister, to this third-generation son of a rich farmer, it sure sounds like your party is advocating that Alberta's farmers and our friends across Canada will once again be forced into a 1943-based monopoly, formerly called the Canadian Wheat Board. Is that your government's intention?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm somewhat confused by the question. I'm pretty sure the member wasn't at the convention. You might have been. I didn't, it was a very large convention, the largest convention NDP has ever seen in this province. So perhaps it was, perhaps he was there. I didn't see them. But no, Mr. Speaker. There is some challenges, without a doubt, in the transportation. We've seen some great success in both CN and CP ordering 1,000 new hopper cars each, new sideline, new double tracking, new terminals building across the province. Even this year, North Terminal, Greenbelt province. I think we're setting up to be in good shape for the future, Mr. Speaker.
Minister, second supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that several farmers, including myself, were thrown into jail for daring to take our own property, our commodity, wheat and barley, grown by us, into the USA and giving it to a 4-H club. Minister, is this how your government would like to rebuild the tattered relationships with rural Alberta farmers and ranchers going forward into 2019?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud of this government's work on supporting our agriculture across the province. Last year, we've seen the record export profits of $11.2 billion. I think that speaks volumes. That's over 12% more than the year before that. Mr. Speaker, agriculture is over year after year is breaking records year after year, Mr. Speaker. This government is very proud of our record with the agriculture community. I'm very proud of myself, continue working with agriculture, with producers, processors across this province to continue the good work they're doing and growing and making and selling good products across the country and around the world.